Hello, crafty friends. It's Katya. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today, I'm going to be sharing these three cards, and I'm also doing a video collaboration with Natasha Volkovskaya. She is a new friend of mine that I met through a recent blog hop when I found out that I had reached a 5,000 YouTube subscriber milestone. So, thanks to all of you guys who are new subscribers, and I cannot wait to share these few cards that I made and share this collaboration with Natasha. Now I'm going to be using my stamp positioner and this 3M safe release tape to hold down this grid paper. The grid paper that you see on my stamp positioner is something that I just printed off of the internet, and it is laminated, so it gives a little bit of bulk and height to when I'm using clear stamps. And I'm going to be using this square paper that is 5.5 by 5.5. I'm also using my simple circle creator, which I created to help myself make wreaths in a really uniform fashion without having to get my fingers all inky. So I'm going to demonstrate a couple of ways you can use this. The first is using tape on the very far end corners of each of the stamp positioner and the piece of cardstock. And what I mean by that is you can hold your paper down by using this safe release tape, and it won't rip your paper. I have had great success with this, but I actually really prefer doing it a different way. So this is one way, and put it on both sides of your paper. You could put it on all four corners, but my favorite way is to actually put this tape runner directly on the back of my cardstock. And when I remove it, I never have an issue with the card getting ripped or anything like that. So I'm going to be using this hex fade from Birch Press Design, and I'm going to create some sort of a pattern in a circular fashion. And I always find it best to work my stamps so that the card and the stamp is off to the far left, because when you position your stamp in the center of your platform, I always get better results than rather than putting my stamp in the far left-hand corner. Now, as you saw on the screen, since my stamps are brand new, I'm actually conditioning them by using a plastic eraser by Tombow. It's my favorite way to condition stamps, and then I just run a piece of my cloth on top of them to get them going. And as you can see, I'm going to be using these Catherine Pooler inks to do all of my stamping, and I'm just doing this geometric design in a circular pattern. And I know that some people either have a love-hate relationship with rainbow, but I simply just love it. And I think it's so bright and colorful, and it really, really lends to great cards. So a lot of people just think, oh, I'm going to just do flowers or leaves or that sort of pattern. Break out those geometric stamps, because those can lend for some really, really great, interesting backgrounds. And the one that I do at the very end, which I was starting to feel was like my worst design, actually turned out to be my favorite. So stick around, I'm going to show you how I made that one and how it turned out to be my favorite. So as you can see, pulling this off of the Simple Circle Creator that is laminated is no problem. I don't have any sticky residue at all on that. It all stuck to the cardstock, so I'm pretty pleased with that. So I am now starting on another project where I take a different stamp set for the same stamp set, and I'm doing another geometric design, and rather than show you exactly what I did, it's the exact same pattern but using a different stamp set to create this lovely pattern. And I just love those geometric designs because they're completely unexpected. Typically when you make wreaths and wreath patterns, you tend to go for florals or leaves, that sort of thing, or even butterflies, but this is completely unexpected and very different and super, super cool. Now what I'm doing here is taking the Lime Ricky ink from Catherine Pooler Inks, and I'm just saturating a piece of white cardstock because I intend to cut that friend die off to the upper left-hand corner that you see, and I want to make the smaller portion of or the thinner die cut with that green Lime Ricky. And then I'm going to take that other pinkish color, top left-hand corner. I can't see it on the screen here, so forgive me, but you guys who are watching this video can see it. I'm going to saturate the other side of this paper, and I'm going to let that set off to the side and dry a little bit. And when that ink is completely saturated into the paper and the paper is dry, I'm going to die cut the word friend out, and then I'll do the outline in white. Now while that's drying, I'm going to take another piece of cardstock that measures 4.25 by 5.5, and I'm placing it onto my Simple Circle Creator. And I'm going to put that on using some adhesive on the back. And now I'm just going to use this stamp set called Simple Shapes XL. And I'm going to grab this diamond type shape in there. And I'm going to be doing the same rainbow pattern. And at first, I have to be honest with you, when I was creating this in the exact same fashion I was doing the other cards or the card fronts, I really was not sure about this. I was like, I don't know if I like this. Because I think I felt like I was taking it a little too far. But when I first did the diamonds, that's all I stopped with. And I was like, it really needs something else. And I just wanted to take it up to the next level and really give it some dimension and more color by overlapping all those gorgeous ink colors. And I decided to take a circle, and you'll see that a little bit further in the video. And I needed 8 colors. And that last color was that grape color, and it was beautiful, but I really needed to have one color darker than that Samba red. So I decided to overlap a couple of ink colors from Catherine Pooler, and I came up with that beautiful burgundy color right there at the top. And so I pulled that off, and I thought, oh, that's perfect. I'm going to leave as is. But then I went back and pulled a circle stamp, I should say, and I created another pattern. At first, when I was going with this, I was like, I don't like this. I'm not really loving this because all the inks were so dark. But when they dried back, this gave me what I think is my favorite. So next I was ready to finish off these cards, and I did put some Nouveau glitter gloss brush pen on the word friend on that die cut, and then I followed up with some crystal glaze by Nouveau as well on the top, and I thought that gave it a lot of extra dimension. And the second card I created, where the word friend is die cut out of that lime Ricky color, I decided to keep that plain Jane because I felt that the graphic and the rainbow colored image behind it was striking enough, so I left that as is. But honestly, this last one right here is my absolute favorite. I love the bold, solid colors of this last one, and I decided to keep the friend word completely plain without the shadow die behind it, and instead decided to use some square gemstones that I've had in my stash. And unfortunately, I don't know where I've gotten them from, somewhere probably on Amazon, and if I find them, I will put them in the link in the description below. That is it for me now. I hope you've enjoyed this. Please don't forget to subscribe and give me a like or leave me a comment on which one is your favorite. I hope you enjoy. Here are a couple of more suggestions of videos, and that's it for me. Ciao for now.